Morning, everybody. Welcome back. Kevin here with Watch This with Joe and Kevin. We're already on episode 4 of season 2 now. We are cranking right along. Um, it's such a great storytelling show. For me, the biggest two takeaways from last episode, and I kind of talked about it at the wrap up. One, the very emotional family scene with Karen, Kelly, and Ed about Kelly's decision to enroll in the Naval Academy or apply to the Naval Academy anyway. She'll get in. Her dad's Ed Baldwin. Um, but how off the rails it went because no one's really talked about their trauma over Shane, and they kind of did there. Um, and the emotional journey that scene went on, it was less than a 10-minute scene, but everybody went through such huge emotional swings, and all of them felt earned and real. None of it felt contrived, which is a testament to the writing, the direction, and absolutely the performances. Great scene. The other thing, I don't know. It's been such a small storyline from the beginning. It's been like the D storyline, but Alita's story, kind of finally coming to where Alita and NASA are meshing. She's kind of been off on her own story with a little bit of a bridge with Margot for a while, but I've really been fascinated by her since the pilot. But when she came to America, and her dad, whom I assuming we're never going to see again, she seems to, as a young adult now, 9 years after season 1 ended, we see her and she's really kind of isolated and on her own. So I don't think her dad's really much of a part of her life. He never felt like he was going to come back to the United States because of the threats from the FBI about imprisoning him if he did. So to see where she goes from here now that she's an adult character, I'm really looking forward to. Um, I don't know why I've been so intrigued by her. Maybe just the curiosity of how she finally intersects the story and now she is. So let's jump into it and find out. Also, maybe it did become very clear in the last episode that somebody's going to die on the moon in a conflict between the Soviets and the Americans, or get really close to it. There's an escalation that now includes an arm race on the moon, which arm races always end well. I do want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here with us and give a special shout out to Actuarial Lurker, Balas Fuldes, Chris, Jeff, Christy Goverston, NJ, Surya Gundavarapu, and Weird Magic. As always, thanks guys. We're really happy you're here with us. If you would like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else that we have watched or currently watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. On every show we're watching, including For All Mankind, we are at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube. So if you get done watching the YouTube edits and would like to keep going, you can do it on our Patreon page. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material, which is probably Apple Plus. You will only see and hear me for copyright purposes. We are also currently watching 30 Rock as a Patreon exclusive and just started watching Godless, the Netflix miniseries, which is spectacular.
You're canceling our cruise to the Bahamas?
If you're going back to space, it doesn't make much sense, does it?
Is it Pathfinder?
So, I'm guessing the first flight of Pathfinder. Yeah? You said you made a promise to yourself that you would never leave me and Kelly alone, no matter what you had to give up.
Oh, yeah, that's loaded.
I was very upset and I overreacted.
And you said exactly what you feel.
This is a different Karen than first season. Just so much more independence.
So much like this turtle shell.
Durability comes with a price, but be sure you're comfortable.
No, he's scared. Yeah, that did not sound legit. The about time did not sound legit. This is the Foley here with the heartbeat and the ringing is a nice touch. I don't like that he's kind of being bullied into doing this. I really don't.
One of the greatest, if not the greatest astronaut of our time, has decided to return to space and command Pathfinder. You okay, Gordo?
No. Yeah, he's scared. He's traumatized.
I had a weird little moment in my suit today.
What happened up there was 9 years ago. You're not that guy. You finally cut the cord with Tracy. I mean, you're on the upswing, buddy.
Get it? It's the 80s. People don't understand that trauma doesn't just go away.
Now that you are stepping out, who's taking over the astronaut office?
here to put you back to work. This wild happy-free life has got to stop. I want you to run the astronaut office.
Ain't me run the astronaut office. What the hell for? You just assigned yourself the command of the e-ticket ride of the decade. But no.
What is she gonna do? She's clearly she can't. Yeah.
Chief of the astronaut office.
I mean, I do think it's a cool job. No, yeah, I know Ed wants to fly, but I think it's a great job.
I know you and I haven't always seen eye to eye, but I'm hoping we can find a way to make a fresh start.
Clayton told me what really happened on the moon. All to protect some white man's career.
That
My
man
God.
was my friend.
You're the one who filled Clay's head with all that patriotic crap.
Oh my God, there's a lot of blame going here.
They may have let you on the bus, but you will always have to ride in the back.
Out there, alone in the Pacific sky, it was packed with stars.
I didn't know you felt so passionately about space.
I want to get to Mars as much as you do. Believe me. The trick is not to lose track of who you really are.
This is a layered conversation. It's Pam. I miss Pam. Oh, good for Pam.
So long, Trace.
See you soon, right? On the moon.
See you soon.
Why don't you put that on?
Air Force, sir. Not Navy.
Why is he torturing this kid?
Congratulations. You just drew right seat at Pathfinder's maiden flight.
Okay. Now I don't mind him messing with him with the hat.
I want a command slot.
Danny, you really have been out of the loop for too long.
I want to be the first African-American woman to command a mission. If you don't give me a command spot, I will always be seen as that weak little black girl who fell apart on the moon.
She really will, yeah. Could she talk to Molly about it?
The Soviets have accepted the president's offer to mount a joint mission between our
Good.
two space programs.
And the only reason why they agreed to this is so they can get a closer look at our current technology.
Use an Apollo. Go with Apollo Soyuz like they did.
We have an old Apollo command module in
There you
storage here
go.
at JSC.
That's
It
what they
was
actually
backup
used.
rescue ship for Skylab before shuttles took over that job.
I can give you the commander right now.
What? I hope you're not
Danielle, do it.
pointing yourself to this one, too.
Nope, I'm assigning Danielle Poole. And I think it's time for an African-American woman to command a spaceflight. And this mission, with all its symbolic value, is the perfect opportunity to do so.
I think Ed's
I
right on this.
agree. This is great. Oh, Danny gets her wish in a big way. Head back in the flight uniform. Well, looking good. So does he still have his Stingray? $1 a year lease. I looked it up. It sounds like he threw a rod there.
Just glad they don't make them like they used to.
Let's get this
She looks like Sally Ride. Is that who it is?
Houston.
Oh, no, that's awesome.
Shake every bug out of her system.
I love the contrast of the old one versus the new one. I love it. And they both look beautiful.
Let's go make history.
I'm loving this episode a lot. I've got chills. Oh, Sergeant Slaughter. I know that because I had his G.I. Joe toy when I was little. I'm really glad that Gordo and his kids have a good relationship.
You two were flying down to the Cape together.
Can't miss this. I'll drive fast.
Oh, no, no, no.
Dad.
Oh, oh my God.
What's wrong?
I saw some ants. They were crawling everywhere, man. They were crawling everywhere.
I'm glad he's being honest with Ed about this.
Karen, she's killed them with some bug spray.
Wait, you mean the ants were real?
I thought I was losing it again, Ed. Oh, I was seeing things again.
That's okay too.
What am I gonna do, Ed?
You can start acting like a man. Why don't you book a flight to Florida on Pan Am? I'm sure they can find you a seat.
This is just like him with Shane and the bicycle, and I don't like it.
You're flying in dogfight territory, son.
Oh, you bastard.
Time to eat your lunch. Pipper's on. Fox 2.
Let's make it 2 hours.
Oh. Not good. You better get out and walk, buddy.
We'll go for a swim.
Projecting down.
I thought the chair stayed with him because that had the raft and everything that inflated and they hit the water. I could be completely wrong on that. Oh, that's where we're gonna leave off. Obviously, I think Ed is going to be okay. He's a pretty central part of the show, and I think he's going to be Pathfinder. I love that. There was a lot about that episode I really, really liked. The complexity of the characters really came through. Danny, this was a really great episode for her. Like, she's right. Maybe it was weird the way she went about it, but she's right. She's been in a really rough position. She lost a lot of years because of a really heroic sacrifice. She said for herself it was okay, but when she did it, she told Gordo it was fine. I did the right thing. Don't tell anybody. But at the same time, she deserves to be back in the good graces with everybody. I think her sister-in-law kind of lit a fire under her, about look where you still are. The idea of being in the back of the bus. I can kind of see everyone's perspective. Ed's like, well, you haven't been around for 9 years. These things take time to work up to something like that. But also, I don't think Molly and Tracy and Ellen had to wait that long, right? Like in season 1, they all commanded flights. Or at least Molly and Ellen commanded flights in season 1 when Danny was still very much an active astronaut. So she's not wrong. I think the Apollo-Soyuz mission, and I love the way they're going about that. Right? It's not going to be a space shuttle Soyuz or whatever, or the Soviets equivalent of whatever they might be using. They're still using Soyuz, so we're still going to get Apollo-Soyuz, which did actually happen historically, and so we're going to get that with Danny in charge. I hope we get it, simply because it was a nice step in a really ugly Cold War. It didn't end things. Obviously, the Cold War went on for quite a while afterwards. But I like the fact that real piece of history in a realistic way is being worked in. I'm not 100%. It's working. I get that it's working, but you just don't know, right? Like we continue to have Gordo struggling with the idea of putting the suit back on and going back to the moon, right? Going back into space, and Ed kind of bullying him along the way. We saw that didn't work with Shane, right? And he felt bad about the fact that he knew it didn't work with Shane. Shane learned how to ride a bike, but that was because Karen actually taught him. And all people are different people, right? And the show's kind of showing us that for some people you do need to be coddled, and some people you do need a little bit of firmer motivation. And it's weird that Ed did it to the detriment of his relationship with his son in season 1, and he's doing exactly the same thing to Gordo, but it's working. He appears to be getting rewarded with it being the right idea. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But again, all people are different people. Nobody knows Gordo better than Ed does. Maybe this, and we have Ed 9 years older, right? Ed, I feel like Ed's a stronger person. He might just know the fact that, while it didn't work with a little kid, right? It didn't work with my son who was scared. A person like Gordo, who's been there before, right? The idea of pushing the envelope isn't new to Gordo. Maybe he knows that this is the right way to go, and maybe I'm being a little bit overly critical of that. I certainly don't have all the answers, and I don't know how this is going to go. Gordo may, now that this is happening, right now he had this little dogfight, which you really seem to enjoy, kind of be locking in, right? We see that he's not drinking anymore. We see him staying up late studying. He's not, pining after Tracy, right? She came over. He said, "Give me the key back," after that really weird night. So maybe this is what Gordo needs, and maybe I'm not giving Ed enough credit for really knowing that for sure. But I feel like it's iffy, right? I mean, let's face it. Like, how many of you guys, when you saw the ants on the can, were like, "No, he should not be doing this," and it turned out to be real ants. But I mean, you don't know how somebody, when somebody's had a traumatic experience and then they're asked to walk back through that, basically, Ed is asking, or really kind of making Gordo do. You don't know how that person's going to react to that. So, I mean, you can think you know, but you can't really know. As we kind of move through, and we're sadly, almost halfway through season 2 already. I don't know what Gordo's journey is going to look like once he goes to the moon. And really, this episode, which again, beautiful. I really like the juxtaposition between showing Apollo and showing Pathfinder at the same time, and Danny checking out her Apollo capsule, and the other 3 checking out. And kind of cool to have Sally Ride in there, checking out Pathfinder. We've kind of set up missions for everybody, right? Gordo's going to the moon, Ed's going up in Pathfinder, and Danny's going up in Apollo Soyuz. So there's a lot going on. Plus, we have Skylab. I don't know if well, I guess Molly and Ellen are kind of grounded in administrative positions, which is totally cool. That gives us a lot of chance to see more from their characters. But it looks like we're going to be getting a lot of new astronauts moving forward, and I'm kind of wondering, as the show moves forward and maybe we have some time jumps, if Kelly or Danny end up being astronauts, which I think would be really cool, but it's awfully early to know that. I don't know. We haven't had any time jumps yet on the show. I don't know. Nothing more than a month or so. And I don't know what's going forward, but I look forward to it. Catch you on the next one, guys.